So, for those of you watching my channel, you know this little Mini Cooper that I've got that I bought a couple of months back on a bit of a whim at the dealer auction, because it was only 75,000 miles, full service history, in really good nick, and yeah, I thought it'd be a nice little bit of a toy. Book said it was worth £3,700, so I thought I'll have that. We'll have a bit of fun in it, and then we'll sell it on retail wise. Subsequently, everyone messaged me telling me these are super unreliable and very risky to retail, and I should get out of it as quickly as I could. So I thought what I'll do is I'll drive around for a bit, put a few miles on it, and enjoy it and test it out for myself and see if the horror stories are true or not. So I've done that. I took it home, wife's had use of it, I've had use of it, I've had some great fun in it. It drives really well, haven't had any problems at all with it. So I thought, okay, well look, we will retail it again. So I tried it at 3,695, had no interest for an entire month. Tried 3,495, no interest. 3,295, a few bites, but absolute time wasters. This week I dropped it to 2,995, which I think is a certifiable bargain. Excuse me while I get used to my new gimbal. Which I think is a certifiable bargain for a car that's coming out with 6 months warranty on it, with warranty wise. It's got a full service history, it's just had a service, it's got a new MOT on it, it's only done 75,000 miles, and it is in super condition. It really is. The inside's really good nick, exterior's in really good nick. I locked it, I should have brought the keys out. So yeah, I put it up at 2,995 at the weekend, and I have been inundated with messages coming through on the car. Since it dropped into that sub 3k category, I've been inundated. But it's the type of inquiries I'm getting, they're an absolute nightmare. So last night I had a lady who was absolutely mad, and she really wanted it, she had to have it. Could I stay for an appointment at 6 o'clock tonight to view it? And I said, if you're definitely going to be here, I'll stay open, you can come along and have a look at it. I promptly then had a message about, well, at least she messaged me about 3 o'clock to say she was no longer coming, she'd found another car. When she spoke to me in the beginning, she was absolutely adamant this was the car she had to have, blah 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 blah. But there you go, at least she let me know and I didn't hang around for no reason. I promptly got another phone call from a lady who said, love the little Mini, want it for my daughter as her first car. And that set some alarm bells off for me. So I gave her, so I spoke to her on the phone and asked her about her daughter. Her daughter's 20 years old, she's just getting her driving license, she hasn't actually passed yet. I said, have you checked the insurance out? And she said, oh, I've checked it out on a Mini before, so it'll be all right. I'm like, you checked it out on a Cooper S, not a 1.4 Mini? I'm not sure what Mini it was. I said, well, they're not all the same. This is a 180 odd brake horsepower Mini Cooper S, the top model and a fast car, and you're talking about it for a first time driver. Are you sure you've sort of done your research, kind of thing? And she's like, oh, I'll go away and I'll check the insurance and I'll come back to you. So she came back to me and she said, oh, I've checked it out, it's going to be affordable for us, you can just about afford the insurance, so that's no problem at all. She said, but the only thing is, I've done a bit of research on these and I've heard about timing chains on them. And I said, absolutely right, you're right. Excuse the noise in the background. The timing chains can be a problem on these. This one is absolutely running fine, it's got a full service history. He said, well, has it been changed in the service history as per the intervals? I said, well, there's no intervals for a timing chain on these, they're lifetime of the car according to the manufacturer. I said, yeah, so the lifetime of the car, so you can change the timing chain, but you'd be doing it precautionary because at the moment it's fine. So, well, can you do that included in the price? I said, not a chance, not a 2,995. I can't do a timing chain for you when the timing chain is currently okay. I can't do a preventative fix that's going to cost £500 when it's not a problem at the moment. It doesn't make any sense at all. I said, look, let's run through this car with you. I need to be clear with you. This is like a 14-year-old performance car. I said, this will struggle to give her 30 mpg if she's enjoying it like she should. The tyres will be expensive. The parts can be expensive on them. I said, from the factory they said they can use a litre of oil per 1,000 miles, so she's going to have to be checking the oil on it quite regularly to keep it maintained well. Are you sure this is the right car for her? Yes, we want to come along at 6 o'clock. She says, want to come at 6 o'clock? So okay, well, again, if you want to come and look at it, I'll stay late for you, but you need to confirm that you're definitely coming and let me know if there's any change at all. Yeah, no problem at all, she knows, she really likes it, blah blah blah. I get a phone call an hour later. I've done a bit more research on these and I've read lots of scary stories about it, and your one's using lots of oil, and that means that the timing chain has gone, so it needs a timing chain. So I said to her, I didn't say mine is using lots of oil. I said from the factory they can use a litre of oil per 1,000 miles, so it's something you need to keep an eye on. It's just the general maintenance of the vehicle. And I said to her, there's nothing wrong with the timing chain. It doesn't make any rattling noises at start up or anything like that at all. I said, but absolutely, if you want to pay me $3,695 retail price for this car, bear in mind I'm still giving a 6 months warranty, even $2,995. I said, if you pay me $3,695, I'll do the chain as well. So she then said, no, actually, no, tell you what, we're going to leave it. We're going to leave it. I said, well, look, to be honest, you shouldn't be getting any Mini because they've all potentially got timing chain issues. I said, and on a 2007 car, your daughter needs to have a contingency fund for needing to fix some stuff on the car. I said, I'm not saying my car's got a problem. I'm saying that potentially any car of that age, if you're buying something with a bit of performance, could have some cost to it. So she needs to be aware of that. So anyway, I basically talked her out of the sale because the previous call before I had gone on very heavily about the maintenance costs of running one of these for her daughter. And I've done this before. Some of you would have watched a video earlier where when I first got this car, a lady came to see it who was driving a 2018 car that had just finished its lease, and she wanted to save money by getting into an older car. And again, I said to her, you're going from a brand new car with no maintenance costs. This is an older car with more miles on it. It's going to need maintaining. It's going to need looking after. So in both those cases, I was super honest about the potential costs of running a Mini, despite the fact that mine, like I say, I've put probably a couple hundred miles on it now and it's driving absolutely fine, no problems at all, bar maybe one arm is getting to a point where it might need replacing, and probably the front disc probably could do with doing, but other than that, it drives absolutely perfect, engine wise, absolutely perfect. And as you can see in the pictures, it's a super clean example. But in both these cases, I was worried that they weren't going into this with the right mindset about owning a car of this age, and I was brutally honest about the costs that could be incurred with it and what they had to factor in. And what this comes down to, guys, is the public don't actually want you to be honest. They want you to tell you everything is absolutely fine, there's nothing wrong with the vehicle whatsoever, it's going to do you no problems at all, you'll never have to spend any money on it, all that kind of stuff. People talk about dodgy salespeople, but the reality is the public don't want salespeople to be honest, because if salespeople were honest in terms of saying about everything with a vehicle that could possibly go wrong and what the warranties really will and won't cover, then no one would buy used cars. Everybody goes into it rose tinted and they just want somebody to back up their rose tinted viewpoint of the vehicle already. They want to hear everything's going to be absolutely fine, and the reality is you buy a used vehicle, the chances are you might have some costs on it. Odds on are with this one there might be nothing to spend on it at all other than standard maintenance because it has been so well looked after. But with any vehicle, used vehicle, there could be potential costs involved in it. You know, Fiat 500s, the sumps rot out, the gearboxes can play up, the ECU on the engine can go. How often has that gone? For me, well, I fixed those things before the cars have gone out, to be honest, if they've already got the problem. But in terms of cars that have gone out to customers, I haven't had that happen. But are they potential things that go wrong with it? Yes, they are. And if you ask me, could those things go wrong with it? I'm going to say yes, they could. And would the warranty cover a lot of those things? Probably not. But again, the reality is people don't want you to be honest. And if salespeople were as brutally honest as everybody wants them to be, and didn't play up to this cliche of telling lies and telling rubbish, then no cars would get sold. I'm not by any means saying that salespeople should be allowed to lie. I'm not saying that salespeople should be allowed to talk rubbish, but the reality is they have to tone it back a bit, otherwise no one would ever buy anything. That's the harsh reality, and this is a point in case. People want to hear that a 13-year-old performance car with 75,000 miles on it is never going to cause them a problem, and the reality is no one can guarantee that. No one can guarantee that. I'm sending out with a 6-month warranty. I'm telling you about the potential pitfalls with these, And the reality is they will need maintenance, but you don't really want to hear that. You want to hear that it's fine and I'll fix anything that goes wrong with it for a rock bottom price of $2,995. Well, we've got another viewing tonight again at 6 o'clock. A lad has messaged and said if the other people didn't turn up, he wanted to see it. So we'll see what happens with that, and we'll see after it goes out the door, when it does eventually sell, what kind of comeback issues I have with it. But the reality with it is the way the public are with a car of this age, as I've said before, I may well register it in my wife's name. I was planning on doing that. We may well use it ourselves and then sell it on as a private sale later on, because the reality is the public just don't really get buying used cars of this age. I suppose, to be fair, the majority of public don't get. They just want to hear everything's going to be perfect, and then when it goes wrong they want to blame a salesperson for lying.